those panels aren't quite getting in the sun just yet. They're kind of at a sheer, is that what it is? I don't know, angle. So a bit of a, not nervous, like but a bit of a nervous, I guess you could call it, morning. We had a bit of cloud, quite a bit of cloud, and it was supposed to snow, our weather thing was saying, and then from about 3 to 6 we had some wind start up and it blew a bunch of cloud in, and I wasn't sure whether we get a good solar day, but this is mint, because good solar means we don't have to put our generators on, and that means we don't have to burn through fuel, and fuel costs money. So remember when I said I have lots of generators and I got to figure out how to do them? Well, there's another one. This one here is not outputting power for some reason. I pulled this cover off here and I actually had voltage flowing, and then the second I put that cover back on, voltage stopped going. So there's an internal fault on the wiring on this. I don't know what's going on. I think the reason, last winter I actually left it sitting outside for the whole winter and didn't start it for like 7 months, so that could be corrosion inside. I gotta fix this up at some point. I need to drain the fuel out of it, because if it's not gonna put power out, I can salvage this 5 gallons that's in here and put that into that 5,000 watt Honda we got sitting in the shop. I'm not gonna try and figure this out right now. This is not a priority. This generator is we got to fix the big generators. Let's get these sheep fed. No, I thought some of you might appreciate too, this is how we're stacked our firewood for the most part this winter. We pallet wrapped everything here, and this way if we don't burn any of this, you can just grab the pallets and truck them away from your house, so you don't have firewood sitting here ready to catch fire. There's our irrigation setup. It keeps the lower stuff fairly dry. It's easy enough to pull off the top, and like I said, if we don't burn it all, we can truck it way away from the house, which is a good fire smart tactic. All right, dudes, let's go. That's all of you? Yep. So everybody's fed now. Just do a butt check. So checking for udders. So Kira's bred. I think this black one's bred. That one's bred. I think that one's bred. I already got her. That's Haw. It's right there. Don't worry about him. You are bred. Did I already tell her? This should be definitely bred. This dairy, watch how wide she is. Boom. Trauma is new. Not you. Noelle's later. Year later, year later, year later. Timmy, that's boy. You are, yes. Big girl here should be, but I can't remember when. We've got 2 groups of lambing coming up. We've got one in March, and then we've got 2 separate rams groups in later. That little one there should be, yeah, she was in with Hank, so she's later. So what I like about this fence line feeder is it's easy to check them, and as you can see, I have to get on finishing this here. There's a cable that goes along the top. Well, okay, just a second here. The feeder. Let's. Okay, here's the deal with the fence line feeder. Okay. Yeah. Whatever Leo wants, whatever you want, Leo gets. Okay. It's all made out of recycled material. All these 2x6s are recycled from Canadian Tire, which is a general store here in Canuckistan. That's why it's called Canadian Tire. Anyway, it was garden center platforms. God damn, I sound like our Prime Minister. The rubber mat is recycled rubber matting out of a sawmill that they use to transport the chips. We got that from a company in Kelms called Belterra. Every fall, every 2 or 3 years. They do a big discount on all the junk stock. So there was like 100-foot rolls for 20 bucks. The fronts here were off of a government cattle weigh station that was being dismantled to make a public farm. It's called Padova Farm or Tronquil Farms out in Kamloops. So, and then all the posts here were all used too. So we built this with the intention of nobody's on this side. We put the hay on this side up and down. We just stack our hay here, and then we'll feed out of there, throw it into the feeders. There'll be a cable along the front, which I got that mostly used, old winch cable. And then we've got the cores from the round bale the bale wraps to put on there as rollers so that they can reach through and they won't be able to jump through. Now I got it going. I figured all my measurements out. This is the way I want to put this together. I'm really liking this. You can see right here, there's a gate here, and then there's a gate there, and then there should be a gate that I got to fix this whole fence here. So they've got a 5-foot span from here to this post here, and then I think there's 2 feet there, and it's a great feeder. It keeps the food mostly there. The issue is they kind of build up the poop and the snow on this side. So I was sitting here contemplating it, and I also was down at Blackwell Dairy for some of the farmers markets down there, and I saw the setup they had for their cows. Now, mind you, their whole facility is in a big barn. This is all like covered. Imagine, like pretty much as big as this whole pen in here is their barn. Like, it's beautiful. But they got it covered, and in the summer they actually had a hose along the top with sprayer nozzles that would mist the cows to keep their temperature down during the heat waves we get. So I thought that was an absolute genius idea. So I did think about putting a hose onto the top side of this with nozzles spraying out. But then I was thinking of going ahead and just putting a short roof sort of that comes up here and then lean-tos over a little bit here. Just about 6 feet so I can get under it. That will keep the snow from building up in here. We could probably put paver stones down this 5 feet out so we could scrape that all off, you know, like the patio stones. So we'll keep an eye out for that. I do have a metric ton of them sitting over that way somewhere. So we could do that, and then we can get in here and scrape this all out and clean it all up. The snow wouldn't fall as much in here. And then when we start transitioning to their different minerals and stuff in their supplements, because we did our hay test, and we got to add to the feed, it'll keep it all dry. So I'm like, okay, I'll put a little roof over it. These posts aren't tall enough, so I'm gonna have to yeet them out of the ground. These will go 6 feet like logs. I'll just treat some logs and set them in the ground. And then every 20 feet on this side where it's 5 feet out, I'll stick another log in and build a beam across. I know 20 feet's quite the span, but it's doable. We'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll make our main roof here sort of a steeper roof, and then a sloping lean-to, and then off of this side this can just stay the way it is because we need to reach through and throw stuff in, and then we can run the mister along the top of the roof, and I can put lighting in there as well, so when we're doing butt checks we can light it all up. So I'm gonna finish this feeder, but we got to build another feeder right down this side here, so I'm gonna yeet all those posts out of the ground and we'll get that done to the new standard. So that's kind of the thing where, like, this will work just awesome the way it is, but I don't want to have to throw that side together just to rip it apart, because I really like the idea of sort of drought resisting and shading these guys, especially considering when the sun is up about here and over, like behind you guys here and over, this will provide the most shade for the heat of the day. We're also going to be keeping them fed. When they're on grass and they come in at night, we're going to keep these feeders full. So having a nice shaded area with moisture for them to stay cool is going to be a banger. So that's kind of what's going on there. I'm going to finish this feeder exactly as it is, but we're going to go version 2 on that one over there. I do have a bunch of videos on me working on this. I think softy lambing, I was working on that one. So way back in our 2024 lambing spring. And I was trying to keep this as a project, so I'll try and get those done at some point here, probably by the time I do version 2, but anyways. Oh, what did the spring lambing 2024 is done. I don't have any more videos of that, so throwback for that won't be, that's done. The dog smashed up the computer, so I wasn't recording anything else. So that is complete. We're going to be going into lambing in March. Yes, I also forgot. So this is all part of a whole facility plan. You see this little gap right here? That's where their water post or automatic water is going to be, a water hydrant, and then a small mineral dispensing station was supposed to go there. If that mineral station stays there, yes, no, I don't know. And possibly a jump gate for the dogs to get from pen to pen. That will service that pen and this pen. We'll be able to close this gate with a 12-footer. I don't have a 12-footer around here anywhere that I could point to right now. Oh, right here. Jeez, how blind am I? 12-foot gate. Dig it. 12-foot gate, 12-foot gate, 10-foot gate right there, because that's what I didn't want to buy any more 12s, so I'm using up the 10s I had. So we cut the squares out of here. I'll weld some box tubing in here, and then we'll put those bars in that are adjustable, and then one that goes across this way, adjustable, with a PVC roller on it. And that'll be the lamb's creep from that pen to this pen here. That's kind of the idea behind all of that. It's hard to say how well it's going to work until I get it finished, but this stuff's just metal. It's easy enough to re-weld and whatever if it doesn't work out. And then the feeder thing, I just from using that one, I think a covered feeder is going to work just mint. And the misters will just be hooked up like to a hose either here, or I'll find a way to run them to when we put the hydrant in there. But they'd have to be drained out in the winter because right now they'd blow out. But everything slopes downhill, so draining it out, you just pop the valve on the end and drain it all out. Yeah, I kind of knew what I was doing. Use what you got. Use the environment to your... Yeah, fed all the boys on the ground. The reason why is Hank, over beside Manny there, he was really getting cold during the cold weather and was shaking a lot. And we suspect his head is so broad, he was having trouble getting it in and out of the feeder really quickly. And because he's kind of a scrappy dude, it kind of put him in a compromising position where his head would be like he's not ready to fight right away, because he kind of makes an enemy out of everybody. So we've just figured it's cold enough right now, they're not going to pick up too much worm load, hopefully, off of the ground. And we just got lots of clean snow, and I rake it up every couple days and pull it all out. We're trying to get them to clean up more. That's why we regulate their feed based on what they got left, because they should clean that up. But that's why we're not feeding them in there right now, is Hank, he was just getting way too chilly. You can see I threw up a piece of plywood to try and cut the wind a little bit better too. So that's why they're not getting fed in this thing. What we're thinking there is putting in a feeder like the girls will have there, because then there won't be slats going down like that. So any future rams that are like big head Eds, what's up, freight train, will be a little bit better, safer, more comfortable, whatever. What are you doing? Are you trying to scratch on? Yeah, you little weirdo. Got a butt scratch on Scooter. Okay, I got two things on the go today that I'm trying to get done, like complementary to each other. Ooh, there we go, look at that. Oh yeah, sometimes I amaze myself at my ability to cheap the f out. So I gotta get the transmission drain oil. Where's my head? Okay. Perfect, okay. Where the f was I? Okay, I got two things going on today. I got to drain the transmission oil out of this Jeep. Now, when I first started this, I had every intention of adding a drain pan plug, because this automatic transmission doesn't have it. Now, or pan doesn't have it. Now, you can order some up off of a, I think, 04 Jeep TJ 42 RLE that has a drain plug. It's like $50, $50, or it's like $20 or $14, $14 to order a threaded in drain plug, so you drill a hole. But I was just too cheap, because that's the way I am, to even do that. So what I have to do now is drain everything out through there without the proper tool, so that's why I've got this. There is a suction thing you can use, but the cost of the suction thing to suck the oil out would probably offset the cost of putting a drain pan and buying, so it just doesn't make sense. So I was going to putter away at this all day, because it's only 5 liters in the pan. Yeah, it's only like 5 liters, 4.6 liters in the pan, something like that. So I'm just going to keep working on this. so I can drop the oil pan down, and then, or to the point where I can drop the oil pan down. That's the biggest thing, so that I can get into the valve body and see what's going on. And then when I get bored of this, I get to work on the generator and try and figure that out. See why it's not creating voltage. So this is a piece of surgical tubing for like tubing lambs. Well, this isn't going to be used for that ever again. But, and then one that carries conditioner or shampoo bottle nozzles, and I just jam the hose and I cut it to length. So we got this stuff by the bulk. We probably got like 1,000 feet of this hose, so no, don't worry about it. But I just put it into this pan here so I can check and see what the oil looks like. See if there's any contaminants in it. And it's actually looking really nice and cherry red. I'm not going to buy your stupid tools that you're going to tell me to buy. Go buy a tool. No, you buy me the tool. I'll use the tool. I'm not going to buy the tool. I will cheap the fudge out, and I will put more hours into this than it would offset the cost of the tool. Now, if I was working at a shop, yeah, I'd have the tool. But this is my homebrew crap. I'm not making money off of this. So we're just going to do it the cheap way, the farm way. Man, this is the day-to-day on our sheep farm. So that wasn't very long, but that's tedious. This generator here, I borrowed from a friend of mine, or he let me borrow it, or he sent it here. So there's a few things going on with it. Number one is it's not outputting power. I have got it all wired up to hook into that switch on the wall, so that's good. I've got the fuel feed, so the fuel pump here will draw fuel up and put it into this pump. Into this pump here. It'll draw it up, but it's coming off of our fuel tank for the generator. But because the return line is so thick, I can't use it on the return line to this tank, so I actually got it returning into a jerry can that every day or so, once this is running, we can dump it back into this tank, or I can pull the hoses off and feed it all off a jerry can. I need to probably switch this hose out with the one that was on there, because I did move some hoses sort of around. This is leaking like crazy. There's a banjo bolt here that's leaking. The copper washer is leaking. This fitting is leaking. This fitting is leaking. This fitting is leaking. One of these fittings down here is leaking. But that's not a concern. We need to figure out why this isn't outputting power, and then we can go ahead with the next step of all this. So, I'm not going to start this. Yes, I'm not going to start this because I got to fix some wires inside the control panel, and I got to clean some wires at the back. So first things first, this thing has taken a walk this way. How can I drag it back this way? Maybe tire chain will work. Probably not, but we can try. Oh, like that. There we go. There we go. Okay, much better. Okay, so much better. Now it's squared up again. We're gonna get this exhaust needs to come off of here. Let's get this down. I think that's the reason why the first two generators failed, is moisture's coming. Let me just get over here. Hopefully my head is in the frame, I don't know. This is why I think our generators fail, is there's moisture that comes down this, goes into the exhaust, gets into the cylinders and through the valves and causes them to hydrolock. I think that's why the first generator had a bent valve, and I think that's what took out the head gasket, I think is what took out the second one, I don't know. So we're gonna be getting rid of this going up and sealing this off, possibly, I think. Probably, yes, most definitely. We're going to get rid of this whole thing. This is just a dryer vent that the previous owners put in here. And then they had a cap on it, but because the diesel exhaust keeps burning the caps off, you never have a cap on the top. So, and then even if this doesn't leak, water comes through here and through the side and runs onto the generator. And so this corner's a mess. So we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to get this thing out of here, because the next plan is to run the exhaust up out of the generator, and then we're going to go straight through here. I'm going to pull this fan off the wall, and we're going to put a piece of plywood up and run the exhaust straight out the side so nothing can get in. That's the plan, Stan. So this has to go. Oh. Oh, that's cold on the hand. Okay, what the fuck do I do now? Okay, does this thing go up? No. Alright, why don't you want to go up now? Get the fuck out of my way. Okay. Well, that's sketchy as fuck anyways. Worth a shot to see if I could make a siphon action, but I can't. This is another project. This is part of a chainsaw box I gotta finish. That started when I first brought my welder home, my little one. Move on. Okay. Cold. Should I hook this back up and knead that down? Probably. Oh, why are you being like this? There we go. Okay. There we go. This goes on the next generator. Come on, baby. Oh, fuck. Oh. Okay, now I see what's wrong. Yep, that did it. There we go. Exhaust out. Yeah, definitely not having the exhaust going up is a plan. Oh, I can even see daylight around the outer edges. Nice install, folks. 10 mil. Oh, 10 mil, 7/16. And no, I don't know what I'm doing here. I gotta get into this control wiring. Okay, starter's a little. Okay, that's missing a bolt. Gotta find one for that. Okay, this should come out, so I don't know if these will want to come off. It's gonna be a bitch to get into there without getting this out of the way. So what the man? Which is attached to which, you bastard? Oh, of course. Nail on the bottom. Okay, so I've just got 1, 2, 3 right there. But I can't slide this off unless I take those off. I don't want to take those off because they're going to be a freaking nightmare. I can try. Oh, of course not. Really? Oh, that comes off easy. Okay. I think my bolt didn't take it off. Oh, you are absolutely the dog shittiest thing. Oh. Wow. I can get to this one, but there's no way to get to that bolt, which means I can't take the exhaust off, which means my access to everything else is... It comes down to how far do I want to take this apart. I was hoping to pull the exhaust straight out and this section here off, this box and everything out of here, but I can't get anything onto this fastener down here at all. An open end would work if I had this box out of the way, but this box I don't think is coming off. Maybe it is. Something goes up under there. Way up under there, which I'm not liking the looks of that. Because what I need to get into is this control all in here. This wire's broke right here. And I was hoping to uncover all of this to find out if I've got a problem with a wire underneath all of this. Now, I've got bolts here and I've got bolts on that side right there to get into there. Now, I can't do that if I can't get this off. I'm not about to friggin' break this whole thing apart to get into this. I don't know. There is some problems going on here. Now, I can pull all of this apart and clean all this up, but I've still got to fix this here. So, I'm just going to start putting this all back together because... me. God damn it. It's all back together now, so... I get to figure out this what the heck is that? Oh, god damn. Binder twine? Yeah. Binder twine. Okay, it's all back together. So I think I'm going to pull these apart, clean all these spade connectors up, and get my electrical cord. Get these all cleaned up in here, and then I've got to reconnect this wire. Let's see what we can do down here. You should want to come off. Ooh. Or not. Oh, that's great. Fucking cold weather fried that. I hate this. Brake cleaner it's gonna have to be. There we go. Lovely. Hell, I've never used this. Plumbing. Oh, that's the wrong solder. I just put that away in my electrical drawer, not my plumbing drawer. It's the best I can do with what I got. Just experience tells me that that didn't fix nothing. Neither did cleaning those, but we'll give it a shot and see. It's a 3-inch pipe. People pay big bucks for that. Oh, gets a little bit of the Cosby sauce. Oh. A little bit of the fuel pump. What the f? Why'd you just stop? There we go. Let's just see if we can't crack it first. This thing is perfect. So I've done what I can do on this. This thing's pretty much a lost cause. I cannot get it to output voltage at all. It's 5 volts is what I'm getting. This looks like it's been repaired. I had to repair this. I don't know how good that is. This resistor, I'm not sure how good that is because I'm not getting anything on that side. I don't know enough about this stuff. I suspect you're supposed to get like input from here, and then it converts to power that like takes DC and turns it into AC, or AC into DC that energizes the field. And then, but I don't know enough about it to want to worry. This is outside my realm, especially on something borrowed like this. If we own this, I would have stripped all this apart and ripped all this off here and started pulling wiring out and checked for something that was damaged inside, but I'm not about to do that on something borrowed. As it is, I kind of put my own wire in here, but there's still something going on further. I don't know. I'm not going to try and worry about it. We still have this generator here, so 15 kilowatts. Well, it's hard on the tractor and it's hard on, well, it. You can see we've had a bit of leaks coming out because it's running. Oil leak there because it takes a lot. The hydraulic oil being cold was thick, and then it, yeah. So we've still got this unit. We've still got this one that runs good. We got the plug there. We unplugged that and we'll plug it into there. It just requires bouncing around a bit. I was hoping to get this one running because I think this one here would have been able to run everything, like the house and the inverter, now that I figured out the settings on the inverter, because that was the problem when I first had it. I thought it was the settings on the inverter, but now I'm suspecting that it wasn't outputting voltage properly. We're just going to keep working on, look at how much oil I got. Yeah. So I'm going to keep doing this here over the next few days. I don't really want to be jumping underneath the transmission right away because like I just don't. We have beautiful sunny weather today. Like the solar panel isn't lined up square yet. Like the shadow, we got to line up the panel with the shadow. And that's how we know that we're not lined up to the sun right now. So if you just watch this shadow here as I rotate the panel, there, now we're squared up. Maybe go a little bit past so that the sun rolls into it. The sun is definitely helping with the battery thing. We just run that little generator for like an hour or two in the evening and turn off the house, and our batteries will stay charged until the next bit of sun. That's why I said this morning it was nervous that the sun wasn't going to come up, but it is. We have 30 more panels to go. They're bigger than this, size-wise and input-wise. We're thinking about, you can see those ones up there. Pulling, there's the stack for the generator. That's coming out. I got to put a new roof on this side anyways. I'm going to do tin roof, and I'm thinking of loading this up with the panels we're going to bring home. Like try and put as many. I think I can only put 17 or 20 up here because I'm going to remove these ones. Those two panels are the same size as that. So I think putting the panels up here is a good idea. I've heard people say don't put your panels on your roof because then you can get water intrusion. I'm pretty confident that's just by people that don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to roofing. We're going to take these old panels here, get rid of this mount, and I want to put, we got 10 more on this side and 6 on this side here, somewhere on this side. So the reason for doing that would be, this is the east side of the house. Sun rises in the east. So first thing in the morning, we'll get this charging here. And that'll bring the batteries up at about, like in the summer, probably 4:35 in the morning. We'll start getting that power right away. And as the sun is coming over, it'll start charging these. And at the midpoint in the day, which is usually right there in the summer, we'll have this east side collecting until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night when the sun goes down over there. Now, I want to do that. I've heard people say, like I said, the roof's leaking, blah, 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 don't do it. But I'm pretty sure that's from people that don't know what the hell they're doing. They're like, oh, the fasteners aren't engineered for that. Well, then you're using the wrong fasteners, dumbass. But a lot of people have opinions. And I know opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, but it seems some people are just assholes. So we don't want this rack here like this. You see how it rotates? You see all the ropes on there? We get such strong winds up here that this whole thing is starting to get shook right out and fatiguing really bad. And just like all this ropes and stuff is kind of a pain in the ass to set up. And it has to be so high off the ground to collect sun past these trees. And these trees keep growing. So I don't really want a rack there anymore. Because this ground is actually going to be cut down another 2 to 3 feet to level off with outside the door here. So kind of a hazard, and I'm worried that we're going to lose our panels one day from windstorms. I want to put a woodshed right there. The woodshed will have a south-facing roof, but it'll be lower. So these trees here, like about this time of year, will really impact our collection on that. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards the roof more than anything. And I know some people say don't, a lot of our off-grid forums, but like I said, some of the people on there are just like, if you didn't tell them to not eat paint, they would, like, they'd argue. I don't know, some of the people on off-grid forums say, there's a reason why they want to be like out in the middle of nowhere. It's probably because they're a little bit too much cousin loving. So I know we're going to get a thing saying, well, how do you clean your panels? Well, right there, that roof rake. That's how we clean our panels if they're on the roof. So I'm really leaning towards the roof, especially with a tin roof, putting the panels up there, using a proper sealant, using a proper rubber gasketed screws and brackets. Like, I mean, they build, if putting screws in your roof would cause them to leak, then putting nails in for shingles would cause them to leak, and putting screws in for metal roofing would cause them to leak. Yeah. So here we are in a shed that's been up since 2015. And there's no water stain on any of these screw holes. Look, not even any water staining coming through the seam. And this is like, this is the worst case of a roof where the wind can get underneath and push it up. Nothing. So this is 10 years that this has been up. And there's no water intrusion through here. I mean, there's a little bit of discoloration, but that's not from the water. That's because these were wet when I put them up. So like the wood was wet. So, I mean, oh, you can't really see it though. So, did I see it on the underside? I'll show you again. I'll show you how the screws were done here. There's two different styles of roofs here. Okay, so on these ones here, you can see we put the screws right on this flat here, not on the ridges. So they're on the flat in the valley where people say they're gonna leak. Well, the screws are rubber gasketed, and I check them every couple of years to make sure they're still tight and don't need to be replaced. So I guess maybe that's why we're not wrecked. But these ones are done in the low spot as the manufacturer's suggested install for this roof. We'll go take a look at the other one now. Hey girls. Okay, so here's the other roof here. This one was done with the screws on the ribs here on the top. I don't like doing it this way, but the reason I did it this way was because these are where the existing screw holes were. This is used tin. There was never a screw here, so that's why I put it where I put it here. Now the reason why I don't like doing it here is take a look at that. This one is warped out. That screw isn't sitting flat. And with the amount of snow, I mean, look at how much, this is a little bit of snow sitting on there, melting through there. There might leak through there. Probably not, but it could. Snow does wick itself too, so keep that in mind. But I mean, the reason people put them up here is because they say then the water, you see how the water runs in here? Well, it's not going to run on there, but all the screws in this snowpack right now, a bit of this is getting it sitting on top of here in here. Like, see, take a look at that. That's all wet right there. So it could potentially leak into there. And the problem is you're pushing down on something that there's no support underneath this. So these I'm really careful about checking because I just don't trust. Like, you can see how bent this tin is, but still, it's not going to leak, or it hasn't anyways. Let's see. Hey, Friday. No, these ones haven't even leaked yet either. So even doing them up on the top side, right there, we don't have any leaks either. This could be manufacturer's recommended for this type of tin. I don't know. I never got this stuff new. It's all used. I don't mind doing it this way. I'll do it whatever way. Doesn't matter to me. I just make sure that these washers are done right. But you can see, this is another example. This washer will never sit evenly left to right. It will front to top. It'll sit this way and this way will catch, but the sides won't. So that's kind of why I don't like doing it that way as well. But it's not leaking. So proper fasteners, no leaks on the roof. If I just add another one of these and you're putting in another piece of metal, make sure there's a seal between the metal bracket and the metal roof, and then put one of these in, you should be fine. But people say they're gonna leak, but I don't know. Hi Fifi, what are you doing? You guys need water? Hi big girls. Let me know what you would do. Would you put the panels on the roof? I like tracking the sun. It makes the panels essentially, like that one set of panels is like 3 times bigger than they are because you can rotate them. But the risk of us losing those panels in a windstorm are pretty high actually. Like I've almost lost those panels off that pole once or twice before. So just let me know. Would put them on the roof, build a solid rack, but then where the heck do you put a rack that, well, these guys aren't such a hazard. Those big horses there are a bit of a hazard. They like to rub on it. And we don't know what type of animals we'll get in the future. And I don't like not having my grass getting mowed by critters. And I just don't want to put in more infrastructure when I could just keep everything nice and secure on the roof. That's my reason. I know the winds up here are too brutal. Maybe a solid fixed rack, but if I'm going to put a solid fixed rack in, why not put them on the roof? Get it up to the highest point. The house is on the highest point out here. So, I don't know. What's your opinions on that? I don't know. It's all solar, man. I don't fudging know. So, I just got to finish waters here. I'm going to keep trying to pump out that transmission. That's the end of the day here. And then chores. The generator's kind of a lost cause. I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully we'll get our other one fixed within the next week. Give me a day or two to pull it apart. Oh, I got to get a push rod out of the other generator. That's what I needed to pull that thing apart for. So hopefully we get our another generator back, or the motor back. I'll start building that real quick. We can get that piece back together, and we can get our big power source running that can do everything we need all at once. and fairly cheaply too, because it doesn't use a whole lot of fuel. But yeah, that's it. Here I am back at my I'm gonna get back to work at this. I gotta get this thing drained out in the next, hopefully today.